Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the next session of the Remote Workforce Summit organized by Coolidge Times. For our next session on reimagining culture and ways of working in a hybrid environment, we have an interview session with Ms. Natasha Tamiru, the Senior Programs Lead for Executive Education and Transformation, Google Digital Academy, Google Cloud. Natasha leads people-led digital transformation programs that help Google's largest advertising customers across the EMEA to successfully transform. She has spent 10 years at Google in multiple divisions and specializes in organizational psychology, digital transformation, experiential learning, culture, and innovation. Natasha today will throw some light on important topics like employee engagement, team culture, staff well-being, work-life balance, and so on. So without any further delay, let's welcome Natasha. Natasha, a very, very warm welcome to you.
Thank you very much. I feel very welcomed.
Thank you. Thank you, Natasha. So Natasha, my very, very first question to you is, we've been into the pandemic for almost over a year now. Once you settled into the new normal of remote work, how did you start to think about employee engagement? What were some of your ideas and initiatives you introduced to ensure that people were doing okay and were staying motivated?
Yes, at Google, we really see the need for a hybrid work environment where companies and employees, they can both take advantage of a digital workspace that is really allowing them to generate new ideas, to connect with each other, no matter their location. And employee engagement in this hybrid environment, this is really heavily influenced by the technology being used to motivate, to engage people, and the workplace culture that is fostered across the business. So when we think at Google, we look at it as six tenets of culture. The first one is being around talent. This is about our intention to the entire employee life cycle. You've then got the second, which is strategy. This is all about having clear goals that are really exciting and inspiring people. You then got the third, which is structure. So organizing to support structure. The fourth would then be about empowerment. This is so important about treating employees like owners. The fifth one is about innovation. So this is how we fuel creation and curiosity. And then the last one then is environment. So how the environment can help employees thrive. And in this case, it would be a hybrid environment. And this is particularly interesting for us as offices was such a big part of creating the culture that we have. So all of this was impacted by the new normal of remote work, and we adapted our culture to meet the needs of a work from home environment initially, and now adapting it for this hybrid environment. So Google Workspace has really been a key part of our culture strategy, as it has allowed us to kind of seamlessly move to working remotely and then working flexibly. We tried to reduce the number of meetings, as I'm sure we've all had that video conference fatigue. We've also implemented no meeting Fridays. A lot of this, we've just allowed flexibility for different management, different teams to decide what is working for them. We also then have our I Am Remarkable program. Some people might know about this. This is a workshop that is really designed to improve your self-promotion skills, improve your confidence. We moved this to digital to encourage this initiative even during the pandemic. We also continue to remind Googlers of our employee resources, such as the Blue Dot program. So this is where Googlers can volunteer to listen to other Googlers as part of a well-being initiative. Now, in a recent survey in Europe, Middle East, and Africa, we found that less than 10% of our employees want to return to the office full time. And 60% of Googlers said that they would like to work from their assigned office between 1 and 4 days a week. So in that hybrid work environment, we're looking to keep what we've seen working well while continuing to kind of innovate, find new ways to maintain and improve productivity.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Natasha. That is very, very, if I may say, motivating. That is really, really interesting. So I wanted to understand, you're talking about digital initiatives. But how has this remote work experience impacted your team culture, but in a positive way? What do you think we can learn from the last year, and how can we continue to make such positive cultural changes across your team?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. Working remotely has really encouraged us to think creatively, to think inclusively about how we engage with our colleagues, how we celebrate success. Sometimes it's so easy to forget that, how we show up for one another. And all of this is underpinned by the technology we use, which enables equitable collaboration in real time. And this helps to foster an inclusive and positive work environment. Video meetings became even more inclusive of global remote teams, and with the shared informality of seeing each other's houses. You know, you're seeing my house right now, exchanging ideas about how we work together. We gained empathy for our teammates. We started seeing more of the personal lives of the people that we work with. You've got children coming in, making guest appearances. You might even see my dog coming and saying hello in this interview. And we gained a new perspective on teammates as whole human beings. We've also seen evolving digital etiquette across our organisation that continues to improve to meet the needs of our teams, help propel positive cultural change, from being mindful of accessibility to using tools to ensure inclusivity, especially in larger meetings, to trying to create more interactivity. Our team culture really continues to be dynamic and adaptive.
Thank you, Natasha. I know we were talking about company culture and team culture and how all companies should be more inclusive. What I wanted to understand is, what do you think is the role of technology in supporting this inclusive company culture? What has technology enabled, and where is it the weakest?
Yeah, great questions. At Google, like many of the organizations that we support, we've been in a state of change, experimentation, transformation this past year, as we reimagine what will work look like in the post-pandemic future. As a technology company, we strongly believe that the technology we use needs to enable that hybrid work environment, which enhances collaboration, it's helpful, it inspires innovation, and it strengthens that human connection. So in terms of technology supporting and enabling company culture, I would say it's about helping people stay engaged, productive, connected across living rooms, time zones, continents, through communication and collaboration tools. But collaboration tools, they do more than just enable remote work. They can also help to form connections amongst colleagues. For example, staff can use chat to set up special interest groups. They can mentor and support one another. Actually, in my team, we just have moments just for coffee and just to chat, because we miss that water cooler talk. The other element is then allowing employees to better manage their work-life balance. I mean, it's so critical. We've noticed employees range from those who have control over how they structure their day, and then those that have then got to juggle work with various competing priorities, such as homeschooling. And technology has helped to make it easier for both types of employees to optimize their work and their personal lives, with Calendar being a major part of this. Now, my answer to where is technology weakest at supporting company culture, absolutely, you know, it can't replace the power of face-to-face interaction, especially for things like just walking over to someone's desk. You can't replace that water cooler talk. You know, we're trying to make up for it, but you can't fully replace it. And it is really challenging to try to virtually replicate that human connection. Another thing that I would say is our office spaces, the physical environments that we've designed to foster that culture of creativity and innovation, help employees thrive. This won't become irrelevant in the future, but we will need to adapt these spaces to fit that hybrid blend of at home and in-office work, which is going to become the norm for many businesses. And I would say lastly, people have been finding it very difficult to unplug from their devices. And now we need to think actively about spending time doing something non-tech related. So things like No Tech Tuesdays have helped colleagues to really decompress.
Wow, I like the concept of no tech Tuesdays. So, Natasha, we've, of course, already touched on how to maintain the connections between colleagues and what is the importance of face to face interaction and the water cooler talk. What do you think? What impact have the COVID restrictions have had on staff well-being, resilience, and work-life balance?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? And what do you do? What do you plan to do to pursuing the right balance in this, if I may add, constantly adapting environment?
Yeah, yeah. As people shifted to working at home, working days, they became longer. They became more fragmented. Time and attention management became a major challenge. The increase in video meetings with more frequency, attendees, time zones, they stretched our days at both ends. And as our personal and professional worlds really, they combined, we experienced more interruptions. So cultural change, it continues to be an important part of the business's new work environments. Employers more than ever, they need to build flexibility and empathy into their culture to make life easier, especially for primary caregivers who generally, they tend to be women. At Google, we quickly pivoted a lot of our ongoing wellbeing initiatives to ensure that employees could access the support that they required remotely and digitally. And we also added new programs and initiatives to respond to the impact that COVID and lockdown was kind of having on the workforce. It's also an opportunity to pilot new initiatives. So some of them worked really, really well, such as Restival. I know that you'll like this one. It's a day of wellbeing themed events and talks where we encourage all Googlers to just disconnect from our day-to-day intensity and to engage with these fun sessions, to refresh, to relax, to recharge. And we regularly gather feedback from staff to just constantly review and iterate on what's working and what needs to be improved on. That feedback is so, so important that number one, you have that channel available and that you then listen and you take action on that.
Natasha, I know you spoke about some programs and initiative that Google has already introduced. Can you throw some light on some of the things that your organization is doing to foster an inclusive culture to harness diversity? And how is this adapting to the post-COVID workplace?
Yeah, I've seen Google be really committed to continuing to make diversity, equity, and inclusion a part of everything that we do, from how we build our products to how we build our workforce. And this applies to a work from home environment as well as post-COVID workplace. It's really vital to continue building a culture of belonging. And with most of our workforce working remotely now, we're focused on helping our employees connect and finding new ways to prioritize inclusion. For example, we focus on helping to boost virtual connections. So our employees have been impacted by global events in different ways. Some are balancing expanded childcare responsibilities, while others who live alone, they may be experiencing feelings of isolation. And we've seen that people from underrepresented groups are likely being impacted disproportionately, more in general. So to help, we've explored a variety of virtual formats for connecting people across Google. And many of our employee resource groups, they've extended their efforts to help underrepresented Googlers build community during this time. For example, our Black Googler Network and our Women at Google chapters across the globe, they've been hosting virtual sessions for connection, for development. We've also stepped up our allyship actions by encouraging training on inclusive meetings, unconscious bias, and also inclusive language. We've also ramped up how our managers, how they manage equitably. So managers have a unique role in caring for teams. They're working with their teams to create flexible work schedules and ensure that employees really feel supported and included, no matter what their personal circumstances are. So as we're all gearing up for that next phase in the evolution of work, it's really important to recognize that the new working normal will undoubtedly bring more challenges. How each company responds to these challenges and opportunities as well, it's going to define their relevance in the future. So those who will lean into the change, no matter how uncomfortable, and embrace that opportunity to fundamentally transform, they're going to be stronger than ever before.
Thank you, Natasha. Thank you very much. All your answers have been a revelation and have given us amazing insights about the work culture at Google. Thank you very much for taking the time out and being a part of our session today. We truly appreciate it. Kalish Times and all the attending delegates, truly thank you for being a part of our session. Thank you once again.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.